This is Basketball More Than a Game with your hosts, Coach Goins and Coach Quick. Former high school coach and player have teamed up again to share their knowledge of the game and life skills on and off the court. Now here are Coaches G and Q.
All right, thanks for tuning in for another fast break episode of Basketball More Than a Game, the hottest podcast this side of a basketball court. I'm Coach Goins, and Coach Q is going to be jumping in here in a few seconds. So we are action-packed. We got a special guest. Coach Q, what's popping?
Hey, what's going on, Coach G? You want to know what's popping with Coach Q? Well, Coach Q is so excited about our very special guest via telephone today. I feel like I'm on a naval base about ready to shoot an action-packed film. And after this short break, Coach G and I are going to come right back, and we're going to be chopping it up with our very special guest, Mr. Andy Roberts. So make sure those sneakers are laced up tight.
Folks, we are back in. This is Coach Goins along with Coach Quick. He's already told you who we going to have on the show, so sit back. Make sure you got your sneakers laced up, your tube socks, and you know what? You probably need some knee braces. So we want to take this time and we want to welcome to Basketball More Than a Game, Mr. Andy Roberts. Welcome, sir.
So thank you so much for the intro. I feel like I ought to be lacing up my shoe sneakers.
There's nothing wrong with
sir.
that. So we're going to have a great time. And Coach Quick, man, I tell you, man, so let me just tell the folks how all this came about. I'm in Charlottesville. I'm at what I call my spot. I'm at Ralph Sampson's All-American Tap House. I see this distinguished gentleman, so imagine this, Coach Quick. So I'm sitting there. I got my burger right there in front of me. Gentleman walks by, and I was like, man, this is a distinguished-looking guy. I just noticed he had a Navy hat on, salt and pepper beard. I was like, man, I said, man, that guy right there, man, he just like he should be somebody. So he goes on by, he and his wife, and next thing I know, they come back by about 30 minutes later. So we end up chopping it up, man. Great conversation, and that's where we are. That's where we are here today. So via telephone, we have on Mr. Andy Roberts, who is a veteran of the United States Navy, and is also an actor, and he lives in the great state of North Carolina, Coach Quick, and we found out he knows a legendary Tar Heel, and that's Mr. Leaky Black. So with all that being said, Coach Quick, what do you have on tap?
Yes, sir. Mr. Andy Roberts, my first question for you today is, when did you know you had the ability to act?
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't know. One of my not elementary, I guess middle school or junior high school, came to me and asked me to read for a production they were putting on. I had really never tried it, and I guess the result, she liked it so much I was in just about every play she did after that. She was my drama high school coach. Her name is Miss Simples. It was her initiation of me coming in. After that, I went on to Howard University and attended there for 2 years, then ended up graduating at James Madison University. I went into Howard with a mind of becoming a technical director. But, being back in the day and so forth, I won't say lost interest, but was probably influenced to get a real job, so to speak. But I've been acting pretty much ever since that.
Yes, sir. That's outstanding. So basically, you started out in high school with your drama class and everything, and I think that's a big time. You went on to an HBCU in Howard, so got to show some love to the HBCU, and of course, James Madison is an outstanding university as well. So definitely hats off to you, sir. And I just listening to that got my juices to flowing, make me want to act a little bit.
You act like a fool.
Yes.
But
all right, Coach G, kicking it over to you.
But you know what, man? He talks about that. One of my majors, one of the electives that I had to choose when I was at Pembroke State University, now University of North Carolina at Pembroke. I was there and I saw something, man. I was like, wait a minute, man. This thing says elementary acting. And I jumped on that thing, and it was just like bam, boom. I think that's the first and only A I ever got in college. And it was just, and I don't know, it just seemed like it came easy for me. I never thought about acting, but I really, really enjoyed that class. So here's the thing, and what made this so special, Coach Quick, as I was sitting there with my wife and my son, and we were and what made Andy stop and engage in the conversation, I don't know. But when he walked by, something sparked in my spirit. But when I saw that Navy hat, I'm like, okay, people just don't wear hats that haven't served in the military. So we want to thank you for your service. And if you don't mind at this time, Andy, take us down that road and let's talk a little bit about that entire career that you had with the U.S. Navy.
I appreciate that, Coach. I want to back up for just a second. I wanted to say that Thalia Simples was my middle school teacher, and I think she was my drama coach, I should say. And I believe that, she didn't have a lot of males participating in some of the plays, and there was really, to be honest with you, very little diversity. So she approached me and asked me if I would, and I did, and the bug kind of bit me at that point. Later on, after I finished school, high school and college, I went into the Navy because it was at a time when the economy was not that great, and I had a degree to teach, but a certification to teach. And I kind of felt to myself, I'm a really young guy right now, and I don't feel like I've seen the world. And the Navy intrigued me. Actually, I was going to go to the Air Force, but they said I had to wait for 6 months or something like that. And I walked down the hallway of the recruiting station, and lo and behold, there was a Navy guy. I said, I can get you out of here tomorrow. And I thought I better go before I changed my mind. So at any rate, I did, and I ended up joining the Navy, kind of what they call fast burner, I guess, in terms of raising through the ranks. As an enlisted man, I served in the Persian Gulf during the I guess just right around the time of Desert Storm, so we're going back a piece. And it was really an eye-opening experience for me. I love travel. I love taking photos and different things because I feel like in many ways I am a creative. And just seeing the world and talking to folks is nothing like it. Eventually, to make a long story longer, I went through the Navy, got out, and was actually called back by my captain. He wanted to send me to officer candidate school. And but my mindset had really kind of changed at that point. I ended up ultimately serving and working in the Department of Veteran Affairs, rising to the position of Associate Director of Operations, primarily down in Pensacola, Florida, where they have the Naval Air Station. And I was actually living on base as a part of what we call a DOD sharing agreement, which is a Department of Defense and VA. What they couldn't do, we do for them, and what we couldn't do, we send them over to the Navy hospital that was adjoined to us. And really liked it. I think that one of my highlights of that particular duty station was that I got to work with and see the Blue Angels.
Wow.
Just about every week, actually, because I could look out my window and I could see them practice. And we had one of the captains, Captain Cuss, he was a Marine, crash, I think, in Tennessee in about 2016, I think it was. And we were able to invite the Blue Angels to come over to our particular part of the agency, and we just wanted to show them some love and provide them with some kind of comfort the way we could, and presented them with different tokens, pictures, and things like that. And the captain of the base was there too, Mr. Captain Chris Martin. So I enjoyed that, and then when I finished pretty much my federal service of roughly 26 years,
wow,
I decided I would go ahead and try my hand at something else. And I felt like, well, I've got some time out here. And there were plays, I kind of want to get back into it. And I saw some plays that intrigued me, like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Blessed Assurance, which is a story set in the 1960s in the South, in a place called Sunflower County, Mississippi. And I had pretty significant roles in all those plays. So once it started, then people started calling me after a while to do some other things, with small parts like commercials for banks, Philips TV, extras in different movies, those little small parts. But for the most part, that's kind of where I am today. I just finished up last week a play called Prophecy to the Bones and Other Stories that Black Folks Whisper. written by Nicole M. Palmer, and her director was a lady by the name of Nancy Ewing, who's an excellent director and was a Broadway and off-Broadway actress herself.
Wow.
So here I am.
Wow, that's excellent. Certainly appreciate you taking us back, and I can only imagine seeing the Blue Angels do their thing every day or every chance. And I know I back when I was a kid and living right outside of Fayetteville, North Carolina, was able to see them perform at what they call Open Day. When they used to do that down at Fort Bragg. So listen, we're going to step away, pay a few bills, but who we have on, none other than Mr. Andy Roberts, veteran and now actor out of Charlotte, North Carolina. So Coach Quick, Coach Goins, and we'll be back after this.
Visit our website, coachgoins.podbean.com. Always learn to pass. Process, attitude, sacrifice, satisfaction.
Looking for a smarter way to shop for your insurance for you and your families? Look no farther. There is help. With several different companies and plans to choose from, whether it's life insurance or Medicare supplemental plans, finding the right plan has never been easier. Licensed with multiple companies and able to shop various rates, plans to help find the best plan for you and your budget. Independent insurance broker Curtis Jackson is the one to call for help. Call Curtis now at 919-614-5796 for a no-cost consultation. The GQ Coaches Show is coming to ESPN Radio 1240 The Boss. Coaches Goins and Quick have teamed up again for candid conversation regarding professional, collegiate, and high school sports. The GQ Coaches Show on ESPN Radio 1240 The Boss. See you then. If you're in the Triangle area and looking for high-quality green cleaning, we have the solution. SCS Enterprise, with over 18 years of providing high-quality green cleaning to the Triangle area, call Eric at 919-607-7171 and tell them Coach Goins sent you. Want to spice up your wardrobe? Saval Boutique has trendy and affordable fashion for all fashionistas. Saval Boutique wants to be the biggest hype girl, so you always look your best and feel empowered. Our top priorities are excellent and personalized customer service, fast order processing, and happy return customers. Come and get cute with us, SavalBoutique.com. Are you behind with your spring cleaning? Allow True Sparkle Cleaners to clean your worries away. A veteran-owned business who serves Fayetteville and surrounding areas, call Ashley at Sparkle Cleaners today for your free estimate. 910-781-8488, and we will clean your worries away. You're listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick.
All right, we're back in, and you know what? We've got via telephone our very special guest, Mr. Andy Roberts, who just finished telling us a little bit about his time in the Navy, and also he is currently acting in Charlotte, North Carolina. And again, Coach Quick is hyped just because he heard the word North Carolina. And for those of you who don't know, Coach Quick is he's on staff with the Lakers and also with the Carolina Tar Heels via the couch, as he says. So we just hamming it up. So listen, I'm gonna jump back in here real quick, Coach Quick, with a question for Andy. So here is the deal, Andy, as it relates to acting, and I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Who is your favorite actor, and why is that person your favorite actor?
Actually, that's a hard question, but I love Jeffrey Wright. And I love Denzel Washington because they so skilled and not only that, but they are really down to earth people who have a perspective of the world that speaks of love and support and not afraid to say he loves Jesus. So
Amen.
There's a lot of things about them, not just in acting, but in terms of this their whole being and morality and so forth. Jeffrey Wright. Mother is from Virginia. She grew up on the street as the same street my wife grew up on. and which is in Tabb, Virginia, if you ever heard of that. But anyway, it's outside of Hampton, Virginia. Jeffrey's mother got married and moved to D.C. She became a lawyer working for the Department of Intellectual Property, patent office, I guess is a better way to say it. At any rate, Jeffrey and my wife are related. They're cousins. And I was like, not just for that, the guy is so talented. He can play any part. I mean, he does everything. He's in Westworld. I watched the movie last night, but No Time to Die. He played the part of Felix in a 007 movie.
Wow. And
he's done a lot of stuff. He played, if you ever watched the new version of Shaft, when Shaft was being played by Samuel L. Jackson, and the Costa Rican guy, or the Dominican Republic, the Dominican Republic character, I guess the main nemesis in the show. That's who Jeff was, or is. And he's his body of work is just a wonder. But I have so many actors I like. I really like Denzel, especially in The Equalizer. Those are some good movies. But he has a wide range. He can go from Shakespearean to action-packed to just incredible work. So I would say I'd have to put those two as my top right now.
Wow. Coach Quick, as soon as he said Denzel, I almost had an out of body, man, because that's my guy. I've got I don't have Macbeth. I don't have that yet, but I've got every movie all the way back when he was in the movie Carbon Copy.
Yes, sir.
And he's my guy. And if I ever get, my favorite Denzel movie is Deja Vu. So if I ever had the opportunity to meet Denzel personally, I would love to say, Doug Carlin, because that was his name in the movie Deja Vu. My wife she says, how do you remember what his name was in the film? I'm like, because that's my guy. And I understand Training Days, but when he did Deja Vu, and of course, I mean, I don't want to sit here and start calling different movies, because he's just Fences was one of my favorites.
Yes.
Here I go, starting to name on Coach Quick. Malcolm X, when you look at Flight, he did a great job in his body of work with also when he played the boxer. I'm drawing that's why I didn't want to go, because I knew I'd be Reuben Carter. Hurricane Reuben Carter story. Yeah. I mean, anything he does, and the same thing with The Equalizer. He's not, and that was the first sequel that he did. And the last one I'm going to mention is The Magnificent Seven. That's the first time he ever played a cowboy. So I'm going to get off this, Coach Quick, man, before this thing turns into the Denzel show. So I'll kick it over to you, Coach Quick.
Yeah, my favorite Denzel role had to be John Q.
Ooh.
Because he was just outstanding in that as a father, and and I would happen to think that any father would go to that extreme for his kid, to make sure that he had life. And I thought he was outstanding in that role. And I also thought he was outstanding in the movie where he played Herman Boone as the football coach.
Ooh, yeah. Man,
big time. I loved him in that role, and The Equalizers as well. So,
remember the
Titans.
Titans.
We could go on and on.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. I agree. I think if you look at Denzel's body of work, there's always a message in his movies.
Yes.
Somewhere he plans, and like in John Q, which is my wife's favorite Denzel movie, he shows a positive side of Black humanity, because then we always sort of looked at, he got Academy Award for Training Days, which was kind of really a negative person. Kind of makes you wonder what people think when they see him, or something they think they relate to when that actor is portraying a particular role. I think he's gotten robbed. I thought he was robbed over Malcolm X, because that was a heavy duty movie.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Just about everything he's done, he should have gotten one recently, in my opinion, but so forth. I just want to talk about the Remember the Titans movie you talked about.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Believe it or not, I was on the football. I played football. I wasn't a basketball player. I was a football guy. And I had several offers to play at various schools. In fact, I got a partial one at Howard. But that movie was about a team that came out of my league,
Wow.
The Northwestern League, and we were the champions before they came on board. Before anyone really knew about that, because those schools were separated. You know, they put the white and the black schools together.
Right.
Yes, sir.
T.C. Williams, but we were. It was called the Northwestern Conference in Northern Virginia. All those schools they played, I played against. I remember that our team did. Like Marshall, the guy that was the head coach that gave him a banana or something like that.
Right. Yes, sir.
But anyway, that's up in Marshall and Fauquier County, Virginia. So I really enjoyed that too, and that was a great role.
Yes, it was.
Yes, sir.
Coach,
Definitely was.
Coach Quick, you got it.
Yes, sir. Andy, my next question for you: what has been your most inspiring role to date?
That's a good question too. And I'll tell you, I've talked about males, but I will tell you that I like the color purple. I think
Ooh.
that was a fine work, and I'm just surprised that it didn't get any kind of acclaim or recognition that it should have in terms of awards. And I particularly like when Whoopi Goldberg, who was playing, I forget the character's name.
Miss Seeley.
Yeah, Miss Seeley. When she stood up at the table, the dinner table, that was heavy.
That was heavy.
She had made that transition from being a very submissive and subservient type of role, and she told Danny Glover, what's happened to me is happening to you. Don't you? She got a little bit of backbone.
Yes, she did.
Come on.
Probably more than a little backbone, but I think that was a really inspirational role, because I look for substance. Are you taking me with you in this role, in this movie, is it moving? Because, sometimes it gets so you just kind of tune out. But when you're looking at it and you're watching it and you feel like you're a part of it, that's some great acting, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
You really
she stood up and said, "Have I ever asked you for anything? Have I ever asked you for anything?
Yeah.
I ain't never asked you for nothing, not even your sorry ass hand in marriage."
He must have watched. Hey, Coach, you must have watched that last night.
Yeah, that's one of them. I probably have a ton of them, but that's one that comes right to mind.
Man, that.
Yes, sir. Outstanding.
Yes, it is, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Coach Quick, but
I was gonna kick it over to you. Yes, sir.
Just like when you said that, made me think of when his dad came to see him, and he said, "Boy," he said, "you need to get somebody out here. He's got chickens all over and pick these eggs." That, and
you gonna let her do that? You gonna let your woman talk to you like that?
Yeah, boy, what is wrong with you?
Sitting at the head of your own dinner table and you acting like a wife.
That was actually. Yeah. Go and put his hat on his head. He said, "Boy, you need to clean up around here." But you know what? And that's so. Actually, I was in Waynesboro, for North Carolina where that actually was filmed on the Huntley farm, and what they did is when they came by, well, actually, they used the name Huntley when the mailman came by and delivered some mail, and I think it was Glover, and he said, "Thanks, Mr. Huntley," and as he rode on off on the horse. But that the original house, when I say that the original house, the big house where Danny Glover is, that was actually a house. Beside that, where Celie and when her sister nose came back and they were standing down across the field, that was just a prop. And what was amazing, but again, it was just part of the history of being able to be there, and this was after the production was released, but to be able to go out and walk on the porch and look in the window, and so when people bring up The Color Purple, it really kind of hits home and go, man, all that was filmed right here. And same thing, and I worked in the courthouse where he went when Danny Glover walked up the steps to file the paperwork for immigrations anytime I watch The Color Purple, and especially some of those scenes, it takes me back, and that's what's so good about what we're doing, going down memory lane, talking about great stuff with current actor Mr. Andy Roberts. So what we're gonna do real quick, we're gonna step away, pay a few bills, but who we have on via telephone is none other than Mr. Andy Roberts, our great friend out of the great state of North Carolina, and we'll be back after this break.
Visit our website, coachgoins.podbean.com. Always learn to pass. Process, attitude, sacrifice, satisfaction.
If you're in the Triangle area and looking for high-quality green cleaning, we have the solution. SCS Enterprise, with over 18 years of providing high-quality green cleaning to the Triangle area, call Eric at 919-607-7171 and tell them Coach Goins sent you. The GQ Coaches Show is coming to ESPN Radio 1240 The Boss. Coaches Goins and Quick have teamed up again for candid conversation regarding professional, collegiate, and high school sports. The GQ Coaches Show on ESPN Radio 1240 The Boss. See you then. Want to spice up your wardrobe? Saval Boutique has trendy and affordable fashion for all fashionistas. Saval Boutique wants to be the biggest hype girl, so you always look your best and feel empowered. Our top priorities are excellent and personalized customer service, fast order processing, and happy return customers. Come and get cute with us, SavalBoutique.com. Are you behind with your spring cleaning? Allow True Sparkle Cleaners to clean your worries away. A veteran-owned business who serves Fayetteville and surrounding areas, call Ashley at Sparkle Cleaners today for your free estimate. 910-781-8488, and we will clean your worries away. Looking for a smarter way to shop for your insurance for you and your families? Look no further. There is help. With several different companies and plans to choose from, whether it's life insurance or Medicare supplemental plans, finding the right plan has never been easier. Licensed with multiple companies and able to shop various rates, plans to help find the best plan for you and your budget. Independent insurance broker Curtis Jackson is the one to call for help. Call Curtis now at 919-614-5796 for a no-cost consultation. You're listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick.
So with that, Coach Quick, I'll toss it back over to you to keep chopping it up with Andy.
Yes, sir. Andy, my next question for you is, if you were in production/movie remake, what movie would you like to star in?
Well, that's a really good question. I tend to, I'll tell you about categories. I tend to gravitate towards movies that have some meaning to them, and are roles that have some meat to them that sends a signal. But if I were to do something in a production right now, I would think, believe it or not, I'm not a musical kind of guy, but I like Hamilton.
Mm.
I thought that was put together so well, and I just think Lin-Manuel is a genius. The way he was able to do that. I mean, there are probably more kids now know more about the Constitution than the Supreme Court. Because of the way he did it, he made it really interesting and appealing. Otherwise, they wouldn't look at it, wouldn't have a clue. I liked in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner when there was a reaction between the father, John was the senior, John Sr., and the son was Sidney Poitier, had that interaction when they were talking about, why are you doing this, And it's kind of a deep part because it has so much complexity to it. Here you got a guy in the late 60s, like 1960s, who's from the old school, is conflicting inside, man, son, I love you so much, but I don't want you to get caught up with all these folks because it's not going to end well, type of thing. And the son is arguing, Dad, you've outlived these times, get with it. You're out of step, type thing. But that interaction and that conflict between the two of them is a real challenge, I think.
Yes, sir. I tell you, when you mentioned Sidney Poitier's name, I can't help but think about the movie with him and Bill Cosby in it. And I think back, it was the bar scene where they got into a fight with some guys in the bar.
Yeah, that was Little Seymour Pettigrew.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Right? That
was a great movie.
I mean, that's Uptown Saturday Night.
There you
Yes,
go.
sir. Absolutely.
So
I wish they had done a remake or done something with Sidney and while he was alive, if he could.
oh my God.
Harry Belafonte's pretty much really the last one of them seems to be fairly active. So,
Yeah.
and of course,
that,
Bill
that
Cosby, we know.
Oh, sure. That I tell you what, that is pound for pound, Coach Quick and Andy. That is one of my all-time favorite movies. Is Uptown Saturday Night. They go to Madame Zenobia's and they get you know I know it. I'm dropping the name of the name of the nightclub where they go get ripped off. And he said, "Man, how we getting in here?" He said, "Let me tell you what this letter says." He said, "To whom it may concern, the bearers of this letter are diamond." So they posed as diamond guys. So that's how they were able to get into the nightclub. And then they got ripped off, and they go see Roscoe Lee Brown to find out to try to get their winning lottery ticket back. But
Man.
I can't get into that because once again I'll wreck the whole show talk about. And then of course the sequel was Let's Do It Again. When he hypnotized Bootney Farnsworth when he had to fight 40th Street Black. John Amos, who's a heck of an actor, to me, and I'll say this. Or let me ask you this question. Let me get back to the show. I'm sorry, Andy.
No.
If out of all of the black TV dads, who would you say is your favorite black TV father that ever had that role on television?
That's a good question. I believe that even though he may be despised now, that Bill Cosby represented well during those times. A lot of people may disagree with that, but I think trying to think back through the shows, and the first person that came to my mind was actually a comedian with Sherman, with what's the name of that show?
Sherman Hemsley.
Yeah, but that's the funny part. He was one of the best pure entertainment wise.
Right. Yes.
Just like Red Fox was pure entertainment.
Yes, sir.
But that's a good question.
But I'll tell you my favorite is John Amos, just because of how Good Times was written, the hard times they went through, and it was one of the first black sitcoms on television. And again, credit to Bill Cosby and his body of work, and I'm a huge Bill Cosby fan. And then when you look at John Amos to do what he did, and I thought he got a raw deal when he was on Good Times, just because him and Norman Lear had that little clash, and they just kind of wrote him off, and then he goes and gets the base, I guess, called the lead role in Roots, and then I don't think he ever looked back. But his body of work, being in the ghetto, keeping his family together, working all the jobs that he had to work, and it's just his demeanor and the power that he brought to the show. Anytime there was confrontation with the family, you could see him bow up and do the right thing and be there for his kids. But that's just my 2 cents on that Good Times role.
I think that's great, and it's unfortunate that Bill Cosby too. Had to go through it. He had a great body of work, and then all of a sudden he has this great stain on his that he'll forever be remembered by. But I'll tell you one of the other ones, and I can't remember the name of the movie, but was Earl Jones was playing a father, and he was with Diane Carroll in this movie where she had like 5 or 6 kids, I think.
Claudine.
Yeah, Claudine. I thought that James Earl Jones is one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, that was Coach Quick. You remember that? You may be too young to remember that movie.
I've seen it before, and I think you're right. I think him and Diane Carroll both did a great job in that movie, and I'm a James Earl Jones fan too. He was instrumental as one of the great black actors coming along, and they did an outstanding job in the movie Claudine.
Yeah,
Claudine, and even in Jack Johnson.
Oh yeah, ooh yes, that was my pound for pound. That was my favorite with him. And man, I tell you what, we dusting on some old stuff right there. But yeah, that question just came to my mind as we got in and dialoguing about the different individuals. But when you look at those black movies back then, when like Cotton Comes to Harlem. Of course, Uptown Saturday Night, Let's Do It Again. Any of the movies that oh my gosh, I just Richard Pryor, Foxy. Gosh, I can see Foxy Brown. Yeah, all of Foxy Brown, Pam Grier. Because those movies were, they were tailored for the black audience. But when you look at, like Uptown Saturday Night, when you had Harry Belafonte, you had, of course, Bill Cosby, Sidney Poitier. Oh my gosh, Calvin Lockhart. Flip Wilson. I mean, all the way. Even the guy when they went to get paid off. Was the Billy Eckstein was, I mean, it was just a huge role. And then you fast forward it, and then all right, so let me ask you this. What is your opinion on Harlem Nights?
I enjoyed it because for a lot of reasons. One, I like the fact that Eddie Murphy reached out to Red Fox and some of the other actors that weren't really doing a whole lot at the time, including Richard Pryor, because of the drug situation. But he always reached out to bring those guys in it, but with a lot of talent and maybe down on their luck a little bit. But I love that. But I thought it was funny, especially when they were shooting with
Della Reese.
Yeah, but pinky toe.
And the only knock that I have on it is if they would have just back, and I get it, and I'm not trying to get on the soapbox when I say this, is if they could, the profanity I think might have kept it from going to where the potential that it could have, and I think that's really cost Eddie, and just like when he came out with a great performance. And then he turns around and he makes the movie Norbit, and I think it really cut his legs out from under him. Thought he did a great job in Dream. I mean, he's very talented. And again, I'm not here to bash any of his work, but I think sometimes as black movies, can be they can be judged maybe overcritical versus being able to step back and like you said earlier, some of the oversights with Denzel and how they recognized Sidney Poitier and Denzel basically. The same night. Now, I don't know. I'll tell this quick story. I don't know if you guys knew that when Denzel first went to California, he was in a bookstore and he ran into Sidney Poitier, and he basically, went up to him after about 15 minutes of stalking him in the store. And got the courage to ask him, what about acting, and some of the things that he needs to do. And basically the reply back from Mr. Poitier was, you just got to be true to yourself and to believe in yourself. And he said it was life-changing and very pivotal. So let me ask you about this movie here. What about Paul Winfield, Kevin Hooks, Cicely Tyson, and the dog was named Sounder?
Yes. Sounder. Yeah, that was a great movie. It was ahead of its time. I think it portrayed life as it were back then when Sounder went off and what's the guy's name again? The lead actor, I forgot his name.
Paul Winfield?
Yeah, Paul Winfield was actually in prison wrongly for something that he didn't do, because they needed slave laborers, more or less. And so I think that was probably in the early 1900s and so forth. And they wouldn't even feed them. Their family had to bring them food and so forth. But I thought that was an excellent movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought that Coach Quick, you may be too young for that one, but that was, I remember that as a kid. And let me ask you this, Coach Quick, you remember the show The White Shadow?
Yeah.
All right, the TV show White Shadow was about a black Carver High School out of Chicago, and it was a basketball team. And the guy,
I think I do remember that.
All right, Thorpe, the guy that was the guard on that team, is actually Kevin Hooks, and he was the kid that played in Sounder. So
that's right.
So if you ever get a chance to go back and watch that, you'll see him as a kid that's in that movie. So listen, we're going to step away for a few minutes. We've got none other than Mr. Andy Robinson. We've been chopping it up, talking about some of the old classic black films. Coach Quick has been giving us play-by-play from The Color Purple. And this is Coach Goins. We're going to step away. We'll be back after this break.
Visit our website, coachgoins.podbean.com. Always learn to pass. Process, attitude, sacrifice, satisfaction.
Want to spice up your wardrobe? Soval Boutique has trendy and affordable fashion for all fashionistas. Saval Boutique wants to be the biggest hype girl so you always look your best and feel empowered. Our top priorities are excellent and personalized customer service, fast order processing, and happy return customers. Come and get cute with us, SavalBoutique.com. Are you behind with your spring cleaning? Allow True Sparkle Cleaners to clean your worries away. A veteran-owned business who serves Fayetteville and surrounding areas, call Ashley at Sparkle Cleaners today for your free estimate. 910-781-8488, and we will clean your worries away. Looking for a smarter way to shop for your insurance for you and your families? Look no further. There is help. With several different companies and plans to choose from, whether it's life insurance or Medicare supplemental plans, finding the right plan has never been easier. Licensed with multiple companies and able to shop various rates, plans to help find the best plan for you and your budget. Independent insurance broker Curtis Jackson is the one to call for help. Call Curtis now at 919-614-5796 for a no-cost consultation. The GQ Coaches Show is coming to ESPN Radio 1240 The Boss. Coaches Goins and Quick have teamed up again for candid conversation regarding professional, collegiate, and high school sports. The GQ Coaches Show on ESPN Radio 1240 The Boss. See you then. If you're in the Triangle area and looking for high-quality green cleaning, we have the solution. SCS Enterprise, with over 18 years of providing high-quality green cleaning to the Triangle area, call Eric at 919-607-7171 and tell them Coach Goins sent you. You're listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick.
All right, so listen, we're back in and we've talked about everything from Denzel Washington to Uptown Saturday Night. Let's do it again. Sounder, one that we didn't mention, we got to throw it in. Bucking the Preacher, for those of you that don't know, that was Sidney Poitier and also Harry Belafonte. And the code line in that movie for Harry Belafonte was always, I got my hand in the good book. So basically what he did, Coach Quick, he had taken a gun, or had taken the Bible and carved the pages out, and that's where he kept his gun, was in the Bible. So every time he walked in, he was like, I got my hand in the good book. So with that, we'll kick it over to you, Coach Q.
Yes, sir. Andy, we went back and we've touched on some classic movies, so I would be remiss and not to ask you this question. What does Juneteenth mean to you?
Oh, it means everything. It resonates with me to this day. In some ways, I don't think we've really reached our Juneteenth, so to speak. I'm an avid history buff, okay? So I love reading about it. So I knew about Juneteenth many years, actually, before it became prominent in across the United States. Texas celebrated it as a holiday way back. But it means to me that I'm just going to keep it real. I just think that a lot of folks wanted to do what they wanted to do, didn't see the worth of folks, not even to tell them, because their greed and hatred, is what overrode that. And I guess they didn't think the owners and of the slaves that they would ever have to be confronted by the military to free up slaves, but they never told them. And they didn't know it until they was waiting for it. I think when they talk about watch night, that's where it kind of emanated from, because people used to go to church to watch and wait for something to come along, and Juneteenth was one of those events. I think that really started that terminology or watch night theme. I'm gonna do a little sidestep here for you, and I'll tell you why. I just want to put something in perspective for you.
Yes, sir.
My aunt, I don't know if I told you about this, Coach Lamont, but she passed away in May 21st. She was 110 years old and 229 days.
Wow.
Her father was born in 1862.
Wow.
And her mother was born in 1865. And I was very grateful that I was able to share with her life. And I learned so much about how things were and so forth. Her name, if you want to look her up sometime, is Viola Roberts Lampkin Brown. She had all those names because she outlived 2 husbands. And her daughter was name is Von Seal. She's 80 now, and she's still, up until Aunt Viola passed away a few months ago, take a nap with her. I say all that to say this, and my connection is with Juneteenth and those kinds of things. She wasn't too far off from all that stuff. She saw a lot of the old slaves and that kind of thing, could talk about it. She talked about my grandfather, who was her oldest brother, and how he was, fighting the Klan and different things.
Wow.
The other thing from a military standpoint was I learned about a unit called the 369th, the Harlem Hellfighters. Robert Roberts is going to be doing a documentary pretty soon on them, and they were the most highly decorated combat troops in World War I. They received the Cross of France in all kinds of wars. They were engaged in major battles, but nobody really knew about them. And I come to find out that one of those persons was one of my ascendants, based on what my aunt told me. I would have never known that. So when I look at Juneteenth, I think incorporate all that into all that sentiment. And it really means a lot to me. And that people, know about their history, or they're doomed to repeat it.
We're going to step away, pay a few bills, but who we have on, none other than Mr. Andy Roberts, veteran and now actor out of Charlotte, North Carolina. So Coach Quick, Coach Goins, and we'll be back after this break.
Visit our website, coachgoins.podbean.com. Always learn to pass. Process, attitude, sacrifice, satisfaction.
Are you behind with your spring cleaning? Allow True Sparkle Cleaners to clean your worries away. A veteran-owned business who serves Fayetteville and surrounding areas, call Ashley at Sparkle Cleaners today for your free estimate. 910-781-8488, and we will clean your worries away. Looking for a smarter way to shop for your insurance for you and your families? Look no further. There is help. With several different companies and plans to choose from, whether it's life insurance or Medicare supplemental plans, finding the right plan has never been easier. Licensed with multiple companies and able to shop various rates, plans to help find the best plan for you and your budget. Independent insurance broker Curtis Jackson is the one to call for help. Call Curtis now at 919-614-5796 for a no-cost consultation. The GQ Coaches Show is coming to ESPN Radio 1240 The Boss. Coaches Goins and Quick have teamed up again for candid conversation regarding professional, collegiate, and high school sports. The GQ Coaches Show on ESPN Radio 1240 The Boss. See you then. If you're in the Triangle area and looking for high-quality green cleaning, we have the solution. SCS Enterprise, with over 18 years of providing high-quality green cleaning to the Triangle area, call Eric at 919-607-7171 and tell them Coach Goins sent you. Want to spice up your wardrobe? Saval Boutique has trendy and affordable fashion for all fashionistas. Saval Boutique wants to be the biggest hype girl, so you always look your best and feel empowered. Our top priorities are excellent and personalized customer service, fast order processing, and happy return customers. Come and get cute with us, SavalBoutique.com. You're listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick.
That's powerful. And you know what? I've had folks, I've had the opportunity to kind of go in and do a little bit of homework, Coach Quick, and take a look at Andy's body work on his YouTube channel as well as Facebook, and he's had the honor and privilege, and as he was talking about his aunt, to meet also General Colin Powell. And saw some photos. Well, I think it might have been General Powell and Miss Powell, along with Andy and his aunt. And they get great photos. And what a huge opportunity, and what a great life. And we'll actually dedicate this show in memory of your aunt. So we definitely thank you for stepping into that and allowing us to be a part of that history. Because when you look back, and I wrote that down from 1862.
Yeah.
And
James Roberts.
In 1865, what a huge story. So thank you so much for allowing us to go there. So Coach Quick, I'll go ahead and kick it over to you for your closing comments.
Yes, sir. Andy, I just want to take the time out to just say thank you for being on our show today. It was truly a blessing to be able to get to meet you and have you on today, be able to chop it up with you, talking about your time in the Navy, being able to talk about acting and taking us back to some of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion, especially with our favorite actor, Denzel Washington. So I just want to say God bless you and your family, and may heaven continue to smile upon you.
I appreciate that. And I just want to say one thing about Aunt Viola, and actually General Powell, who's a great inspiration to me, always has been. And I'll never forget the opportunity to meet him. Both of them, in my opinion, left a legacy of love. My aunt would always say, when she met a stranger, it didn't matter who it was, she put her hands in your face and she would say, I thank God for putting you in my life.
Amen.
Yeah, that's the kind of person she was. Instant love.
You know
so
what?
I thank you guys for having me today.
It is definitely our honor and privilege to have you on, and I'll go ahead and let the people know what the title of the show is. It's going to be Andy Roberts, Legacy of Love. So the show is going, and again, we certainly appreciate the dialogue. Thank you so much for taking time out, stopping by the table, because if you wouldn't have stopped by the table, none of this would come to pass. So what I'm going to do, Coach Quick, and as we wrap this thing up, I'm going to give Andy an open invitation. So when things are on your heart and you got a production and things are popping, just give us a shout. We'll always clear our calendar, drop you back on. Because as we sit back, and a lot of times people don't realize, if you don't know your past, you're destined to repeat it. So you've got a wealth of knowledge. My home is always open, so anytime you want to come to VA and don't want to drive all the way up to Harrisonburg or Northern Virginia, you can always stop at Fishersville. We can ham it up and shoot over to Rouse and grab something to eat and hang out. But again, it is our honor and privilege to have on none other than Mr. Andy Roberts, veteran of the United States Navy for over 25 years and acting in his current profession. Also, he's one heck of a photographer, Coach Quick. So you get an opportunity to drop on his Facebook page and take a look. So we want to thank you so much. And Coach Quick, get us to the locker room.
For Coach Goins, our very special guest, Mr. Andy Roberts, a United States Navy veteran and actor. And for myself, Coach Quick, we'll see you in the gym.
You've been listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick. Our podcast is available on podbean.com.